Welcome to Upside DIY. 3 paint cans and a primer sealer. That's probably half. Tested some lacquer suitcases and or even boxes. And got these wooden pieces right here that I was going to build a workbench. But yeah, could lacquer a few things. So with some of the lacquer, I'm going to be using most of it. It just depends how much I get sorted out. So this is the workbench top, and it's only painted. So base lacquer is going to keep it really waterproof for some reason and smoother. But other suitcases, I'm planning to paint this one and then lacquer it. Probably a year or two ago, I already did the same with this suitcase. It's painted on the inside and then I lacquered it. So let's go ahead and check out where I'm going to paint it. I'm kind of going to paint it right in this area. It doesn't have to be like what you want it finished up. Eventually it can be, but sometimes more important stuff shows up. I want to try to learn how to replace these locks. I have all these suitcases and I don't keep them locked. I might have like a special key or something that might be able to lock them, stuff like that, and then get full functional. So I'm going to be painting this. So I guess this is the day before Friday, and you know, we've got a few other projects for this weekend coming up, and then maybe by Monday, Tuesday, I'm eventually going to have to move a lot of these piles of items, stuff like that, into in my spare room, which is already full of stuff. And then even you know, a shed, maybe some stuff outdoors. It's going to be pretty much a pretty much average year, I think, for just using up some of this stuff. And you know, basically, you know, always looking for what I need, and then just try to get other you know, it's not too big and things like that. And if I spend too much time on something, it gets really depressing, I think. So I gotta just you know, just try to get stuff getting ready to turn it around, but kind of see a small spot. And I use this paint for kind of like a sluice sifter that I made with a paint tray. So I kind of and I actually found like this can of paint, and then basically it's a whole lot more comfortable. I think I could have painted the trim. Maybe I should paint the trim, just because it would actually make a lot more, but make a different I don't know, it's hard to say, but it's just the effect for now. But underneath the trim would be needed to be painted, and I kind of don't let the first layer dry, and then you know, have something for the brush. I saw a plastic bag, so I saw a clean plastic bag in the box. So I kind of see a few uneven spots on that side, so I gotta get the brush back out of the bag. Alright, I had to check this side if there was a little spot, just because, you know, I wasn't looking at it. But as far as what's might be able to go into the suitcase, I've been cleaning up and having small plastic pieces, this and that. I've got a few things to rummage through, and you know, stuff, just plastics, I don't know, And what's rummaging is just sorting out, putting just some electronic pieces and this and that. There's electronics, and then just RAM. And also just clearing out some things. I'm not 100% sure. I would just, you know, just doing one thing at a time, waiting for finishing up the suitcase. Um, you know, like, you know, pretty decent. It's just these locks are just so picky sometimes. It feels like I could kind of like try to find a way to move things and get them to work. I want to try to do these since I've got this out already, and also probably going to use some of the plastic, hopefully, things like that. So just, you know, kind of have things, you know, tested, I think, and some progress, you know, stuff that I could be for sure about, and then see how it goes, and maybe do it for the next time. I could have used lacquer, painting lacquer, but it just seemed just a little too soft. So now I'm gonna just try to use some of this since I have it out. It seems okay, I think. All right, so just off camera stuff. Was able to just move the fingers around. Just kind of did both sides. I did a certain height, just mainly where I really did see where the thread line is. So I'm gonna touch that up on both gloves. So there's a thread line in there. So I'm gonna get to that spot. All right, so got, and I think that's where most of the, you know, doubts were just right in that area when I put on the glove. It's just a lot of material, things like that. And also, so this doing this is going to be 2-3 phases, and then also I'm going to draw the string. I'm going to turn this to the other side, and then clear coat. There's also a small zipper and pocket. I'm not going to go inside of the pocket. So I turn both gloves, and knowing, you know, just where I already put some of the stuff, silicone basically. So, and the zippers and stuff can be silicone. So just fully close it. But and yeah. So the first side, the second side, and then the third side, I'm gonna try to tighten up all these buckles and then get anything that I missed inside of the harnesses. So there's 2 of those. And yeah, it's pretty, you know, a good practice to kind of lay everything, or, you know, test and double check everything. I probably should, I already got most of the thumb, but I might have missed some of the sides, and I did miss some of the sides. So yeah. So I tightened this buckle, and then now how this is tightened up. Uh, Hopefully, I'm gonna put a good brush on that. So I might hang these up to dry, but there's put a, you know, I just brushed on the silicone, and then now I just try to get just open up, or just kind of have this back. So everything is technically silicone. There's a nice puddle right there. I might coat the cardboard with it. Not sure if I'm gonna hang this up. So I got this glove. All right, so I just put it inside the shower. So it's hanging on a little small hook. It's really not that great, but once it gets balanced out with the other glove. So this glove's on the correct side. I'm just gonna transfer it to this other piece. Try to use up as much of this silicone water. Pretty useful. There's a lot of stuff to chat about when it comes to adhesives. You kind of learn it from other people, and that's how it goes. So, all right, so finish this up. So I'm gonna go hang it up. Yeah, just a few minutes and got it all sealed. The only problem is silicone. It's not the best water resistant for some applications, but it does have some qualities. It just softens up a lot. Starts to pretty much turn into like a glue. But you know, if you pay attention and basically, you know, just try to avoid water, it's really dust resistant, things like that. But for, you know, just like larger bottles for water storage, and I've got pretty much this backpack right here. I might be like down a hill or something like that, so I could definitely have a rope or something to help grapple down, and it's just not as trying to fix a few issues, working out. Buddy created, put it into a bottle, a drop of detergent, or just any type of interesting suggestion, I would think. The thing is, it probably can. You know, so I've got kind of like a water pitcher right here. It doesn't have a filter in it. Got a few old filters. So there's going to be a few stages. To start with is collecting old, you know, just water, I would think, from the outdoor. Got to turn this bottle into a filter, and then filter out the muddy water. I'm not going to really do it. Bottom piece, I'm kind of starting to think maybe to use it somehow as a top filter. I could probably put like filter floss, and through this filter I could put grass, or I could put a few rocks or pebbles, and then I need to poke a hole through the top and things. Building a water filter for any large pitchers and containers. I'm going to be putting gravel towards the bottom, filter floss, and then I cut this bottle and kept the bottom, and I could pretty much use this as pretty much a funnel that actually traps any large debris. I'm making these for the outdoor camping stuff while I'm a cheap soldering iron, but the tip of it is pretty much the one of the smallest tips that I could get, and I actually used it for like a plastic bottle, kind of making a filter for this, and hopefully just water and things will be able, I could filter out just all types of random for emergencies and things, and I poked some holes in there. So I just want to show you guys that I worked on this filter, and we put filter floss or even a coffee filter to really filter out fluids or liquids. So some of the gravel and rocks on top, and kind of gathering the water, I filter it, and then I try to put it into like a soap bottle. See how clear, you know, it starts to get. I would have to have kind of it starts to get really clear. I might add some taste, and then I would have to have kind of find a way to get rid of the soap, so bubbles will rise up and you know, overflow. Which was, this is kind of you know, the beginning of this water filter. I'm going to work on some other stuff on what I'm going to put in the filter, but